Hello everyone. I wanted to do a real quick video talking about CERN because they said that it's going to be closing and shutting down until 2030. And so I said, you know what, let me just do a quick video giving my perspective on CERN as well as the research that I've done. And then I would also invite people to, y'all do your research, like do the paperwork research, like read the articles, read the quotation marks to actually know exactly what CERN is and what CERN does. And there is a scientific aspect of CERN, but I really think people need to remember, especially melanated people need to remember that science is unseen spirituality. That's quoted by the author Kaba Kamene, and that's the title of one of his books. And I'm going to say that because referencing Cosmic Mother, okay? So I'm going to start right there. Now, CERN's main thing, destroying the God particle. And that's their science, okay? And spirituality, let's dive a little deeper if you talk about spirituality. And let's just say you're talking about the God particle from a spiritual perspective, right? Because they use science because they're trying to find something. They're trying to get information on something. They're trying to figure out how to fix the earth and what to do on the earth, right? And I feel like some of us actually have information that is going to help them. And we really, and see, I'm going to say this because I know the bloodline of the Divine Sacred Mother and the Divine Sacred Woman. And that too is a part of the Holy Trinity. She would be in spirit. She would be Cosmic Mother. She would be the Divine Sacred Mother. But in the beginning, she would have been Divine Sacred Mother, right? And I'm going to show a figure that I have that I purchased, and I saw it, and it just was by itself, and it stood out to me. And the funny thing is, I brought it at like Burlington. And I'm going to show you the details of it and just kind of let you get an idea of the melanated woman, the Divine Sacred Woman, the woman that the Catholic Church, say the Black Madonna, the woman that they painted as an image, and the image is the Mona Lisa. And I'm going to also say there's some things that came up in the past year for me, and it's been very, very heavy on me about the Divine Sacred Mother. Very heavy on me on the acknowledgement, on just some songs that came out, certain nations that acknowledge the Divine Sacred Mother, and some that do not. Some people do not believe in acknowledging, saying Mother Earth or saying Gaia. Some tribes, some cultures, some nationalities, they do not believe in that at all. They're patriarchal. There's patriarchal nations. There's patriarchal cultures and traditions and beliefs that they stand firm on. Know that, right? So in that case, they don't really acknowledge the Divine Sacred Mother, the Divine Sacred Woman in that aspect, and her role in the Holy Trinity. That's my truth. upon my research and my divine connection, I know there is order and there is balance, and you need the feminine as well as the masculine to create. You need the feminine as well as the masculine to create. That divine, sacred mother and woman is the original creator of the earth. She embodied the essence naturally within her and carried that of feminine as well as masculine within her temple. The creator created that divine, sacred woman in the beginning. She's the ultimate creator, right? And then she is the beginning and she is the end. That is what she is. In the ending, you could say cosmic mother. We're in a time right now where it's so important for us to really pay attention to everything that's happening, because in CERN, they've been saying, oh, the God particle, the God particle. And I found it so weird. I'm like, why would these people want to destroy the God particle? And I'm going to give you my story based off of the past year, the spiritual warfare. Many people know exactly what I've been going through. So in the past year, in history, period, we know women and the role that they've played. So now we're here. We're in 2026. Today is July. What we working with? We in the 7th. Today's July 7th. It's about 4:35 a.m. And the role, so I'll say this. With the spiritual warfare and everything that has been happening, not the spiritual warfare has always existed, because you got spirit and you got some people that have risen in spirit, and there's levels to spirit. You have the physical realm where we can see, and you have the unseen realm of the spirit where we cannot see. That unseen can be anyone or anything. We don't know. Okay. And I'll say this. In the past year, there has been, not even the past year, let's say the past several years, the women empowerment, the women, the branding for Black-owned businesses, predominantly owned by women, that has increased. In addition to that increasing, we are aware of the changes in the Black woman, in the women's bodies, and how our bodies operate. We have menstrual cycles, and some women go through menopause. I am going to say this. CERN is in Switzerland. If you look at images of Switzerland, I haven't been there. My mother has been there. If you look at images of Switzerland, Switzerland is big. When I'm saying it's big, like I watched something that looked like it was ritualistic that they had when they were doing a ceremony before. And it was humongous. Like wherever they were at, they had some type of, in Africa, they have the African devil. Okay, in Switzerland for that ceremony, they had something that was as big as the African devil. It was big and it was dancing and it was moving. It was real big. The people were real little. You could see how big it was, and then there was buildings behind it that was bigger than that. And so I was like, wow, it's so big over there. The collider looks so big. And then I opened my Bible one day and it opened up to Gods of Babylon. And I think it is Isaiah. I think it's Isaiah. In Isaiah, I think it is. And it talks about how they made themselves gods over us. And then they come, so for instance, we're here in America. In Africa, a woman, you should see how tall the women are and how tall certain nations are in Africa. I'm a woman that is a very tall woman. I'm 6'2". I know who I am and I know my lineage and where I come from, maternal as well as paternal. And the women are very tall, very, very tall. The divine sacred mother, the original mother, very tall woman. Coca-Cola, that's her shape. That's her naturally. For myself, my family, the women in my family, Coca-Cola. And so this particular divine sacred mother, the original divine sacred mother, when the creator created the creation, if you all read scriptures, you will see how when we are on the land, if we start to do certain things, it causes your internal flame attracts certain things to you. So in your internal flame attracting certain things to you, we have to remember that God, I personally believe God is within everything. God is in all of us. God has given us everything we needed upon creation. So I honestly know for a fact our temples are created just as the creation is created, as above, so below, as within, so without. So God within me, God outside of me, God above me, God below me, God all around me. That's how the Bible say, just how when you love your neighbor, when you care for your neighbor, I'm going to say, but God, when did I take care of you? When did I feed you? God said, when you took care of your neighbor, you took care of me. So when you caring for somebody, when we're doing things, that's the God in us. We're supposed to have balance in us. We're supposed to embody within us naturally the feminine as well as the masculine aspect of us. These God particle that they have been destroying, what are they destroying, y'all? On Switzerland land, it's considered the God particle. In America, the God particle could be me. You could see my internal flame. You could go down from Switzerland or come all the way from Switzerland to America. Fire that collider thinking that it's going up, and then it goes in a certain direction. And in that direction, as it gets, you think it's big, it's small, and it's small. And something led me to the woman, the divine sacred mother, and menopause and menstrual cycles. Something right there in the Holy Grail. For some, you all can kind of gather and meditate on it, pray on it, research on it. with this information as well as I have done, but this is what came all to me: the Holy Grail, menopause, menstrual cycle, the God particle, the divine sacred mother, the original creator, because you got to remember, we all have the eternal flames. Yes, we do. We all embody the jewels of Christ within us, but it's an activation and ascension that has to happen within your temple. When we're activating that within our temples, we embody a certain Christ consciousness, awareness, empathy, compassion, forgiveness. It's in us naturally in these women. So we have to be careful and protect ourselves, you know? And I believe that that's the whole thing, because if you watch the picture, if you look at the picture of the Mona Lisa, in the back of the picture, you see an alien ship. And what the truth that I have researched and read was that it was actually about the divine sacred mother, and she was not. She was the opposite of everything and of that you saw in that image. She was a very tall woman, number one, and she was a melanated woman. So I'm just I've been seeing so much even in the news recently about aliens and UFOs, and I have seen certain things myself, and it's not any, to me it's not anything that the Bible talks about aliens, y'all. Y'all know that, right? They said to treat the aliens like anybody else. So I'm like, why they act like this about aliens? And then they shoot them before you make movies and depict images of you attacking the alien before the alien even doing anything to you. You make your fear in their fear in them of what, because something is superior than them, probably had, because it's bigger than them, more knowledgeable. You don't know what they have and what they can do. So then you immediately want to destroy it before you think, and you're fearful that it will destroy you. And I think that's what CERN does. They are fearful of that God particle judging them, because as long as that God particle exists, judgment is upon their nation, Romans, Europeans. Lend me your ear, countrymen. They have done this for so long, because that was the whole thing with the divine sacred woman, that mother, the original, in that picture, in that image. There's a lot that has not been talked about the melanated woman, and there's a lot that she has been through and that has happened to her, and that still happens to this day. Because the bloodline of women are natural healers. Their bodies naturally heal you. They're natural healers. They heal you when they talk with you. They heal you with their presence. They heal you with their eyes. They heal you with their intimacy. So I just wanted to kind of touch on CERN. And I think them saying, oh, it's shut down till 2030, because they know that they have destroyed so many God particles and destroyed so many different things. The God particles is also equivalent, you all, to your star seeds. It's your eternal flames. It's your ancestors. It exists on so many different levels, because it's a flame. It's the light of Christ that's supposed to be within this bloodline of people, these people. It's your eternal flame. And so them saying they're destroying that God particle, I believe it's something relating to the Israelites. It's your light. It's your internal light. It's something relating to the Jews, the original Jews, God's most precious jewels. And do you know that, like I've spoken before about, anyone can be a Jew. Jew is a nation of people that choose to follow Christ within their heart, within their mind, in their spirit of their heart, in the spirit of their mind, in truth, when they do that. And so I just, there's a lot of, it's so much that I really know, and I'm trying to be careful how I phrase it and say it, because I don't want for them to take my video down before they say I'm misleading others. Because I always invite other people to do their own research and to take time to meditate, to hear, clean yourself up, put the right things in your temple, clean yourself. And so basically, I'm going to give a little bit of information about some of the things that I do. Because I'm able to, I clean up, right? We clean up holistically. We clean up in spirit. We clean up emotionally. We clean up and we ground and we protect and we remember and we affirm and we confirm. And then we feel confident and of our sacredness. And then we remember to give and receive love unconditionally, effortlessly. And then we speak our truth and the truth with confidence, with grace, and with ease. And then we stay focused, conscious, and aware and intentional. And we stay aligned to a divine source that is in truth, because we have now activated and affirmed our own internal truth for ourselves. So we can align with the spirit of truth. So that's how you can clean up and reground yourself spiritually, mentally, emotionally, for physically. And then when you clean yourself up, like I affirm for myself, and meditate on scriptures or something that is empowering, that's going to uplift and confirm for me and affirm for me. And then I will meditate to hear, to receive. And when I pray, I give thanks, because I've already received everything that I need, and I will continue to receive everything that I need. I think that that's more important, because in this spiritual awareness that I have had in the past 3 years, I have been it's happened after COVID. I started to get more of an intimate, I asked for it though. I asked for an intimate relationship with God, because we weren't going to church, and I felt unguided. I felt like I needed something. And so I would pray, I would meditate on the word, I would fast, I would do different things. But I felt like I needed more. And so I would pray and I would ask God for an intimate relationship, so I could get more of an understanding of the word of God. And man, I received, and I am receiving, and I am grateful. Ask and you shall receive. So I just wanted to kind of make this video and just address this morning, this rising, and give thanks to the divine most high. The divine most high externally, the divine most high within me. And the divine most high, all levels of existence, and that does not exist, with respect to and honor to my mother and my father, including. It is that when I'm saying there's levels to it, And then you got to also consider past, that the ones that are no longer seen on this realm of existence. So, and another thing is, this stuff be hitting me. This rising, I slept maybe like 4 or 5 hours. I be wishing I could sleep like the way my kids sleep. And I don't normally record myself, but something say I'm gonna go ahead and record myself today because, some of these people, they be doing their live streams and I don't, they just be all in whatever and I was like, come as you are. Because that's the truth. Sometimes I want to do too much, to fix myself up too much before I start recording. As if that's going to draw the attention in areas that I don't want them to focus on. I want them to hear me, not to focus on what I'm wearing, on what I look like. Like, that is important. My presentation is important to me. So I'm not going to come here with food all over my mouth and my face all messed up. But I am, that's presentation is important to me. However, I'm making sure I'm clean. So it's not something that I have to do to make sure I'm just 100%. It's okay for me to go live or for me to start recording. So I'm saying that in referencing, sometimes I don't even put my face on my videos. Sometimes I just cover the back of my camera and I just record the audio, because this has been a spiritual warfare audio documentary, because I feel like spiritual warfare is the World War III. Everything they say everything happens in the spirit before it happens in the flesh. I'm learning. I'm still learning. I really don't know much. What I know about spirit is more so from the Bible and also from spirituality, being drawn into spiritual communities, being drawn into, let's say, how social media started following some of these spiritual groups that was inspiring and liking posts and doing stuff like that. And then next thing you know, you're following you're getting this information and this information, then you're doing this research and then you're following this. And little by little, sometimes it can draw you apart from, not from God, but from what you're familiar with, from the path that's narrow, basically. It could deter you more to a feminine to the left, or it could deter you more to the masculine to the right, or vice versa. But this is what has happened in the past 6 years that I recognize, that made me want to start recording my own experience with spirituality, because I was blessed in the church. I continued in the church. I was baptized in the church. After I graduated from high school, I chose willingly to continue in the church. Maybe not consistently as much right after graduation, but I did. I did attend church, and then later on got married, decided to take certain positions in the church, and I still support the church. And things have happened on social media throughout COVID time, and now I have more of an awareness for me to know what they are doing in the spirit and how they're misusing spiritual gifts and spiritual power. And they don't recognize the creation. The spiritual gifts and the spiritual power is for creation. And they have been creating chaos with the spiritual gifts of the Creator. And then they want to destroy the God particle to create it in the energy and on a frequency. So it's for everybody to disregard the Bible. And so then what they tell me in the morning when I'm rising, when I'm praying, after you have decided to put me in the spiritual community so you can think that you can harness my energy, in addition to that, using us to spill your spiritual semen, fighting a warfare. This is what I've been going through. Some of the women don't even recognize, probably because they get up and they do their own morning routine. They don't. But I've been still enough the past 6 years now. God has put me still and set me down in a way for me. Everything happens for a reason, because I separated from my ex-husband. And so I didn't, throughout COVID, they went virtual learning, the kids. So I'm like, I got to focus on my kids. So I was grateful to be in a situation where I was able to do that. So I focused on my kids and myself. And that's what I've been doing more the past 6 years than I did when I was married. I asked God for more intimacy, and I got more time with me, and then I found God in me. And so what I am telling everybody is that God particle that they keep trying to destroy, I can guarantee you it is some way relating, and it goes into and is attached to the writings on the wall with the serpent coming down and going under her veil and then spilling your seed and then going up through her to build your universe, your colonies, semen, AI. All these different things that they have built on the melanated woman. And they have done this for so long. And we are at a point where I am telling you, they better shut it down till 2030. It needs to be shut down forever, because I do not agree with it. I can guarantee you, you all are adding to and taking from. As above, so below. As within, so without. You all have been misusing this planet for a very long time without any regard for any universal laws. But you use the system. You use the justice system that was founded on Ma'at, that was founded on Kemetic, ancient Africa, ancient Kemet, Anunnaki. Y'all been using them and working with them for a very long time. And where you were more so using Anunnaki. You had already built your interceptor to intercept the divine connection that was somehow inclusive with that veil, something right there. And something with the serpent, something with the fifth element. All of this is relating. So I hope this video finds the right people. I hope that people actually take time to do the research themselves, to go find this information out yourself, learn about your body. There's a whole lot of you that is in you that was created for you to sustain you, but not just to sustain you, but to sustain this planet. In case you all kept doing the same thing when they said, don't worship idols. Don't worship something outside of yourself. Don't worship, and it's not to say worship, because when you serve, you serve, that's a difference. We serve outside of ourselves. We serve ourselves, and we serve outside of ourselves. There's a big difference in the word worship and serve. I take my temple, my vessel, it is so priceless. The worth, the creation, when I started to discover and pay attention to my body, And it's not just what you see. I'm talking about what's within me. It's so amazing, the Creator, how the Creator created us to sustain us, for self-preservation, for life preservation, for the planet's preservation. For you to even think that you all should have built or should have NASA, number one. For you all to think that you should even have NASA. For you all to think that you all should even have CERN. For you all to think that you should even want to destroy the God particle. From a girl that's blessed in the church and baptized in the church and in agreement with the biblical foundation that this church should be built upon, walked upon, talked upon, and rooted upon. It's like you all either, and I'm going to tell you something about them because I know how they work, right? You got the arrogant ones that know something and waiting on you to tell them something so you can give them the information they need so they can do what they need to do. But yes, we've been doing it this way. Yes, we used you all. Yes, we did things to the melanated women and to the women that we should not have done, but we're in dire need. Tell us what we need. Give us the power that we need. Give us the energy that we need so we can fix it. Give it to us. Let us fix it. That's that type of energy. That's how they work, right? Or it's more of a victimized situation where they want to act like they're the victim without acknowledging the truth of the past. Get over it. Kind of like where some people, I'm going to tell you the truth. I have two standpoints on him now. Two standpoints on him. So I'm just giving you one standpoint on him. Kind of like if you see Charlie Kirk from another perspective, rest in peace. If you see Charlie Kirk from another perspective, you might see him as that kind of like arrogant, but it was kind of like, we don't owe you anything. Oh, I don't owe you nothing. And in reality, it's kind of like, yeah, we do have our own choices. And see, that's the knowing part of your bloodline, the power of your bloodline, the power of your blood type, the power of your lineage, the power of your DNA, the power of having a structure, a system, some type of rules, some type of laws to affirm that gives you confidence to make decisions, right? And to be able to discern. So in me saying that, that's you knowing you have the ability to build, to create, right? But your blood type, your blood DNA, your original creators, what else do you have the ability to do? You have Alpha and Omega. What are you going to do? You going to let them keep destroying you holistically? Not me. So I speak the truth and I speak my truth and I speak the truth with confidence, with grace, and with ease. And I am grateful for scriptures, scrolls, writings on the wall, her story, his story, all the lineage that passed on prior to me. I am so grateful for it. So much so that I live in truth and spirit. And so the truth is, I don't have a problem making sure that I give that raw truth just as I'm giving it to you. And in addition to me going through what I've been going through, being put in a spiritual community and feeling demons thrown at me and having people, I was driving and when they threw me in a spiritual community and then told me, give us your healing hands, and then burn yourself up and end up on the promised land. And guiding me through different movies and showing me what you've been doing and what's happening, and trying to alter and set simulations based on twin flames, and connecting with people telepathically, trying to scare me by doing things to my children, flickering the lights, talking and communicating with me through frequencies, all these different things that the FMs and OES and different societies that you've been doing for energy and for power and for spiritual gifts, for you to go to work in the system. Where you gonna go to work at with your, African AT alien? I'm so serious, y'all. Y'all got gifts. The gifts that you have, you systems and you societies. And then I'm gonna tell you the truth. You gonna go up there, and where you gonna go to? Where you gonna go? Because everything that you think is above could be in spirit. And then if it's above, it is below, right? So I'm just basically saying, because, and when I keep going and I kind of start remembering things, it kind of gets me a little bit passionate, not even angry, not anxious, none of those negative vibrations affect, not in that way, because I know how to channel my inner chi, my energy, my inner chi, my energy. I know how to rechannel it accordingly to speak and communicate so it can be effective. So that's why I don't believe in any witchcraft. I don't believe in sorcery. I don't believe in none of those things. I believe that people will go and try to alter the source and add to and take from. And what does the Bible say? Exodus 22:18, you will not live. You do not need to live. When you start altering the source and you start changing the source of creation, in which that could be your temple, or that could be the earth, the creation of the earth. When you start doing those things, that is when the scriptures in the Bible says that you don't need to live because you think that you God. I think that people in spirit had knowledge all this time. And so now some of us that has ascension gifts of Christ and knowledge of Christ and truth, and you're able to do readings intuitively. Like I can read intuitively, naturally. I don't need any cards. I can talk to somebody and read them. I can look at a picture and read somebody. It just happens naturally. I just naturally know the truth because I've chosen to align myself with my own internal flame of truth. And with the external flame of truth, I acknowledge that there is a sun outside of me and within me. I know that there's a solar energy, not sun, let's say it correctly. There's solar energy outside of me as well as within me. I have a solar plexus in me. And there's a solar system. So where everything that is above is below. Everything that's within is without. I am saying this to give this information, and it is so important. I am trying my best to find out how to present this, because I do not think that these people recognize this, or they know it in the truth of their heart and their minds and the spirit and the spiritual communities. And they know it, right? And so they are waiting on this lineage of women to come to them and tell them about them, or they're waiting on this lineage of men that protect those women, because the Bible is about a sun. It's a sun. It's a light. It's an eternal flame. I do not think the Bible is gender specific. A lot of women stray away from their eternal flame in your Christ consciousness because they think that the Bible is patriarchal and they think that it's gender specific and it's for men. The Bible says in the beginning, it created male and female. I'm going to take all of my energy, what God created me in the image to be. Because I know exactly what's made up within me, feminine as well as masculine. Ladies, don't sell yourself short and cut yourself off from God and you. Take all parts of you. Yes, you connected in spirit, but you need some type of guidance. You need some type of foundation. That's just like if you go to work, your job got rules. When you go to the court, they got rules. When you go to the school system and when you driving anywhere near the school, they got rules. Why do you all think that in the spirit you don't have instructions and rules and assignments? These people possibly know for a fact that the earth might not be here by 2030 because of what they've done, destroying the God particle. That's my truth right there. That's the sad truth. From the girl that prayed for Barbie dolls and been praying for peace on earth since I was a little girl. I do not know what it has been about me since I was a little girl praying for peace on earth and to sit where I'm sitting at 43 years old and to have watched and heard and seen and known and did the research and got the resources and know for a fact that the science that they do is unseen spirituality. I guarantee you, they just using a spiritual system because they didn't want to work with the Africans. They didn't want to work with the tribes. They didn't want to work with the church. And excuse me, I don't mean to say the Africans. Excuse me. It's not just the African people because it's not all about African people. It's about more so all the nations of melanated people and the tribes of melanated people that existed on this planet prior to them colonizing the planet. And so now we're in this time where I've been seeing so many YouTube videos coming up talking about the sun and we're like the planet is hot, everywhere is hot. And they're saying it's like over 100 degrees in this place. Why is that the case? You all keep going up. And then you got the audacity to say, oh, now CERN is on pause since 2030. That's because we don't even know if the planet gonna be here by then. And the truth is the planet gonna be here. You know God ain't going to destroy God's creation. But it's going to be in a way where some people are not going to have